I intend to introduce in my writings heroes of such type as everybody must, as is said, willy-nilly sense with his whole being as real, and about whom in every reader data must inevitably be crystallised for the notion that they are indeed somebody, and not merely just anybody. During the last weeks while lying in bed, my body quite sick, I mentally drafted a summary of my future writings and thought out the form and sequence of their exposition, and I decided to make the chief hero of the first series of my writings, do you know whom? The great Beelzebub himself, even in spite of the fact that this choice of mine might from the very beginning evoke in the mentation of most of my readers such mental associations as must engender in them all kinds of automatic, contradictory impulses from the action of that totality of data infallibly formed in the psyche of people owing to all the established abnormal conditions of our external life, which data are in general crystallised in people owing to the famous what is called religious morality existing and rooted in their life and in them. Consequently, there must be inevitably formed data for an inexplicable hostility towards me personally. But do you know what, reader? In case you decide, despite this warning, to risk continuing to familiarise yourself with my further writings, and you try to absorb them always with an impulse of impartiality, and to understand the very essence of the questions I've decided to elucidate, and in view also of the particularity inherent in the human psyche, that there can be no opposition to the perception of good only exclusively when, so to say, a contact of mutual frankness and confidence is established, I now still wish to make a sincere confession to you about the associations arisen within me which as a result have precipitated in the corresponding sphere of my consciousness the data which have prompted the whole of my individuality to select as the chief hero for my writings just such an individual as is presented before your inner eyes by this same Mr. Beelzebub. This I did, not without cunning. My cunning lies simply in the logical supposition that if I show him this attention, he infallibly, as I already cannot doubt any more, has to show himself grateful and help me by all means in his command in my intended writings. Although Mr. Beelzebub is made, as is said, of a different grain, yet since he also can think, and what is most important, has, as I long ago learned, thanks to the treatise of the famous Catholic monk Brother Falloon, a curly tail, then I, being thoroughly convinced from experience that curls are never natural but can be obtained only from various intentional manipulations, conclude, according to the same logic of hieromancy formed in my consciousness from reading books, that Mr. Beelzebub also must possess a good share of vanity, and will therefore find it extremely inconvenient not to help one who is going to advertise his name.